What's up, guys? It's Frankie Gomez with the Gomez Home Group at eXp Realty, and this is part two of touring Spring Hill, Florida, a video series where we're going to cover every main street of Spring Hill so you could decide if you want to move here and also to just give you a better idea on the area in general. If you have any questions about Spring Hill or you're considering a move here, you can reach out using the contact information in the description below. I'll also include part one where we covered Spring Hill Drive in the description. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe for future videos in this series and other real estate related content. Again, this is part two. We're covering County Line Road. Let's jump right in. All right, we're starting on the west side of County Line Road. So if you're heading north on 19 or Commercial Way, it's like we made a right onto County Line heading east. And this community on the right here, you see those gates. That's a golf course, and it's a golf course community called Heritage Pines. It's a 55 and over community. It includes an HOA fee that covers all maintenance on the exterior of the home, roof, and then obviously the social amenities and stuff like that. I have a full video on Heritage Pines. I'll put it in the link. I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can check that out. But yeah, just for time's sake, since we covered that before, we're not gonna go in there. Now this part of County Line is a 4-lane road. There's actually talks of extending the rest of it because as we drive down here, at a certain point it'll turn into a 2-lane road. But there has been talks of expanding that. I'm not sure when it's going to happen. I guess there's some not issues, but negotiations about who's going to pay for it between Hernando and Pasco County, because County Line Road separates Hernando to the north and then Pasco County to the south. Our second stop, though, is going to be this small plaza. It has things like Classics, which is a sports bar. I've been there a couple times. I don't really come here too often just because it's a little bit further from where I live in Spring Hill, but I know some people that come here, and it also, the times I have been there, it's been a good experience. There's also a pizza shop, pet grooming, a karate academy, barber shop, and then a discount convenience store, wine, beverage, groceries. I'm noticing a trend that there's usually a barber or a nail salon and then a pizza shop in usually in the plazas around Spring Hill. I just realized that. I've lived here my whole life, but that's something that I just now realized. Our next stop here, though, is going to be Cobblestone. It's just a side street that we're going to take to show you guys some of the houses in the area. That's a custom builder there on the right, but this is the location of Cobblestone. It's a common street for people to use to get from County Line to Spring Hill Drive if they're trying to stay on this side of Spring Hill. Otherwise, they would just take County Line to Mariner, or County Line down to Linden or Barclay, which is more east. But if you're trying to stay on this side of Spring Hill, the west side, and you're trying to get from County Line to Spring Hill Drive, you would typically take Cobblestone. Pinehurst is another street that you could take instead of Cobblestone, and we covered Pinehurst a little bit in the previous video. We drove down there and checked out some of the homes. So right now we're on the south side of Spring Hill, off of County Line, and off of Cobblestone. In part one on Spring Hill Drive, we were on the more north side of this area. So now we're on the south side of this area because we were on Spring Hill Drive. We took a left onto Pinehurst. So similar area, it's a large space. So we're covering both the north end and also the south end of this particular area. Homes in this area that are currently for sale range from 270 to 365, and that's a good median that kind of falls right in between, or right in our median sales price, which is around 325, 335 at this time. So it just depends on the size of home that you're looking for. Now we're back on County Line heading east again, and this is still where this is kind of where it merges into a 2-lane road here. There's a BP gas station there on the right. A lot of this is residential on the left. On the right, there's just small stuff that we're going to pass, like that vape shop you just saw on the right. That's a home that's for sale. Actually, it used to be a model home on the left. And a lot of the land behind, like on the right here, all the way like a little bit further back, a couple miles, is a lot of agricultural land. You'll find bigger lots, and that's kind of the case for everything that we're gonna pass here. On the right side, on the south side of county lines, there's a lot of agricultural. Now we're stopping here at Autumn Oaks. Autumn Oaks is a small subdivision with an HOA of $379 per year. And as you can see, there's not much to it. I mean, it's an HOA to kind of keep up with the maintenance and kind of make sure people are taking care of their homes versus like a master plan community. That's why it's so cheap, $379 per year, versus some of the other communities in the area that will charge, $100 or $200 a month, and then you have a CDD fee as well of like $1,000 or $2,000. Sterling Hill is one that comes to mind there. Their HOA is around $100 a month, and then they have the CDD of $1,000 to $2,000. Just depends on which part of Sterling Hill you live in. So this is more relaxed. It's more so just to make sure that the community and the homes are well kept versus like offering a bunch of amenities. There's a lot of cul-de-sacs in this community, and there's one home for sale in here. It's a 3-3 pool home, 2,700 square feet for $595,000. As you can see, you get a bigger lot in this community as well compared to some of the other homes we just checked out off of Cobblestone. All right, at this light we have Waterfall. So Waterfall actually runs north all the way to Northcliff. Northcliff is kind of halfway through Spring Hill before you get to 50 or Cortez Boulevard. So another, not main street, but a more busy street that people that are passing through to get across Spring Hill use. So if you live on Waterfall, you can expect some more traffic. But obviously there's these side streets off of Waterfall, which we'll check out in this video. Homes in this area range from $310 to $450 with what's currently on market at least. Again, it's going to range depending on the size of the home. And both Cobblestone and Waterfall have homes that are built in the probably as early as the 70s, but mostly probably 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We also have new construction in this area. One that comes to mind is just DR Horton. DR Horton builds on their spot lots, so lots that they purchase and build on, they build spec homes on, and they sell them. Those go for about $340, and they're new construction, obviously. 4.2s, 1,828 square feet. I know they're pretty active in this area or on this side of Spring Hill, building those new construction spec homes. Right now we're approaching County Line Road again. We're going to turn left heading east. There's a church there on the right. A lot of, I don't even know how to really describe County Line. It's like there's a bunch of just random stuff, but a lot of businesses, like service-based businesses. Like that was Shock Motorsports, which is an electric motorcycle business. So they sell like electric dirt bikes, electric motorcycles, and stuff like that. On the left here, where the map's showing, is Crafted Dessert Company. They have pretty much a food truck with like a shaded space to hang out with kids. They have a shaded seating area, games, sand pit, and they have other food options as well, but their branding is based on the dessert. There's also a Adventure Coast Fun Park, excuse me, which is an arcade. They have go-karts, batting cages, putt-putt, and stuff like that. So we passed that as well. That was right next to the Crafted Dessert Company. Over here, you have a lot of things like used car lots, mechanics, auto body shops, auto part stores. There's also like things like upholstery stores, antique stores, and then on the right here is MUV or Move, which is a medical marijuana dispensary. That's been recently built actually within the past few years. And then now we're getting closer, pretty much, a quarter mile away from Mariner Boulevard, the intersection of County Line and Mariner. As you saw, there's Taco Bell and McDonald's. There's a Walgreens, Speedway, Jiffy Lube. We're going to cover Mariner in a future video, but just going to show you this corner here on the right to give you an idea on what's included in this plaza. So of course, there's a Starbucks. Those are becoming more and more popular here in Spring Hill over the past few years. And the demand for Starbucks has obviously went through the roof, but in this plaza there's a Great Clips, H&R Block, Metro T-Mobile, another pizza shop called Slice of Life. And we get caught in a little bit of traffic here from behind the building, so we're gonna make a quick U-E. Cut this for you guys. And then the main part of the plaza is obviously Publix. There's also a breakfast spot called the Breakfast Club in the corner there. I haven't been there before, but breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, so I should probably check that place out. There's also a new UPS store, a tobacco and vapor shop, and then a Subway, a nail salon. So there's the trend again, the nail salon with the pizza shop. And then also in Asian cuisine, I think it's Japanese, so they have sushi and stuff there on the end. Across the street, you have a Speedway and AutoZone, and then a newer, I think the past year or so, that Culver's was just put in. There's also plans to add Wawa, Chipotle, and Wendy's here on County Line. It's currently under review with the county, but we're going to make a U-B here and pull into this other plaza, which is right off of County Line Road. It has things like Applebee's, self-storage, and also a car wash that was also put in the past 2-3 years. There's Locomo, which was connected to that Dunkin' Donuts, which is a roller rink. I know they do a lot of events there. The schools go there for like field trips and stuff. We also just passed Capone's, which is a billiards bar. And then if we made a left here where that car's going onto this street here, that would take you to Tampa General Hospital. Tampa General just purchased or acquired Rivera Health. So we had 2 Riveras here in Spring Hill, and they're now Tampa General. Just a reminder that if you stuck around this far and you have some questions about Spring Hill, you can reach out using the contact information below. On the left here is a lot of more medical office. We have a Care One urgent care, a dermatologist, dentist, and stuff like that. And then this building on the left is more professional services. So a lot of conveniences on Spring Hill or on County Line Road. To the right here that we're passing now is the VFW. As I mentioned, on the right here is a lot of agricultural. So if you made rights down these streets, you would go down to a lot of larger lots. And a lot of this wasn't even developed until recently, including this new development by Lennar that we're about to check out, which is Verano. This is a low HOA community. The fees are $58 per month. And as you can see, there's two-story homes, single-story homes. Most of the communities like this, the properties range from 1,600 square feet up to the low 3,000 square feet. This was just started last year, so they've made some significant progress. You can obviously avoid a lot of traffic living in a community like this. Right now, obviously, there's a lot of builders in here, but it's a smaller community. I'm not sure if they have plans to make more phases, but right now it's just this smaller community. All right, we're back on County Line Road, and we are about to approach Preston Hollow. Right next to Preston Hollow, right across the street, is a driving range called Blue Tees International. It's actually a lady that owns a small manufactured home on the property, and then she kind of turned the whole property into a driving range. So it's like $5 for like a small bucket of balls, and it's open to the public. This is Preston Hollow though. Preston Hollow's HOA is similar to Autumn Oaks. It's $260 per year, and pretty similar in the aspect of like larger lots, larger homes. I can actually look up now to see if there's any homes for sale in there. There's a couple. So there's a 3.2 2287 square feet for $465, and then there is a 3.2 2023 square feet for $420. And these lot sizes are 0.54 acres. So really, for $420, getting a 3.2 2,000 square feet on a half acre, that's pretty reasonably priced, especially in a community like this. So I would say that's a fair price. I'd have to look at the other one, $465 for almost 2,300 square feet. It also has a pool, and it's on 0.52 acres. So that's also checks out. Obviously, there's other factors like the condition of the home and condition of the roof and main items, but overall, I think they're priced pretty reasonably in this real estate market. You can probably hear me clicking around on my mouse. The mic is right by the mouse. So there on the right, that's Blue Tees International. And the left here is Tropics, which is like an RV resort. So if you have like a camper or anything like that, you can bring it there and pay per night. to stay there. That street we just passed is Linden. So we checked out part of Linden in part one when we went over East Linden Estates. So we're on the south side of Linden now. We turned left onto the north side of Linden in part one where we were on Spring Hill Drive. This next community is Avalon West. It's a newer community, pretty much brand new over the past 6 months. A lot of development going on the County Line Road, a lot of new construction, smaller communities with low HOA fees and no CDD fees. That's kind of been the theme on these new construction projects on County Line. This one's going to be completed by MI Homes and also Inland Homes. I've seen a lot more marketing done by MI, and they at first were only doing like on-demand build. So if like a client came in, they would select a lot, select a floor plan, make any customizations or select any options, and they would start building. But I recently heard that they're also going to start building inventory homes, so homes that they're just going to build and sell to the public versus like waiting for people to come and actually select a lot and floor plan. So you have options when here. This is going to be a higher price point than Verano or some of the other communities that have been recently built on County Line. The builder MI Homes usually has more customization available and also higher end options. I believe you're probably looking at for like a roughly 2,000 or 2,300 square foot home, probably close to 465. Base, I believe it starts at like 430 or 440. And I can get updated pricing. That was a few months ago when I last checked. The HOA in here is $189 per quarter. So just under $800 a year. All right, and we're back on County Line. Not too much going on from here, mostly just new communities and even existing communities. The next one we're going to check out is the Isle of Avalon. This one was completed last year. I believe maybe, I would just say like around October or November, they stopped construction. It's another small community with low HOA fees, $189 per quarter. A lot of the communities that have been recently built in Spring Hill or even just on County Line, they're very similar in the aspect of like CDD fees or no CDD fees, lower HOA fees, and then also pretty small lots. I know a lot of people have problems with like being on top of their neighbors, but for some people, especially when they know the price, it just makes sense for them right now. So this could be a good starter home, I would think, or for someone that maybe doesn't want to spend too much money, but explore living in the Tampa Bay Area. This could be a good option. They're going to be in high demand when you go to sell because they're newer, and they're also a lower price point compared to some of the other communities that we're going to check out in this series. I would say that some of these smaller homes would go for around $300,000. The larger ones may be up to $400,000, just depending on the updates, but probably a little bit lower than that. The HOA tends to keep prices a little bit lower compared to homes that are not in HOAs. All right, now we're gonna make a left onto the street that we turned into Isles of Avalon on, and this street takes you to the Villages of Avalon, which is not an old community, but an older community compared to everything else that has been built on County Line recently. I want to say 2015 is when, maybe a little bit earlier, when this community was built or started to be built. You'll find homes in 2015, 16, 17, 18 as far as completion date. So newer homes. There's a combination of smaller lots, and then there's also a community in Avalon, or in the Villages of Avalon, that has larger lots. So we're going to check out Hawthorne here. This is similar to Isles of Avalon, smaller lots, and not too much space as far as like driveways or yards, but each yard is probably close to 10,000 square feet, maybe a little bit less. And then there's also other subdivisions within Avalon. So we have Hawthorne. Across the street from Hawthorne is Somerton, and then down the street is Carlisle, all a part of the Villages of Avalon. The HOA in here is 165 per quarter. And Carlisle, the Carlisle subdivision of the Villages of Avalon, that's a mouthful. That community has larger lots, and the homes are usually larger as well. You won't see as many of these smaller single-story homes, and usually prices in there are probably starting around 400 and go up to 700,000-800,000 depending on the updates. I've seen like pretty luxury style homes in there sell for 800,000. They're larger homes with more luxury finishes, large patio area with a private pool and all that stuff. So depending on the updates, they can sell up in the 700,000-800,000 mark. And we're gonna drive past Somerton here, or Somerton and Carlisle, once we exit Hawthorne here. So across the street there, that's Somerton, and then there's the clubhouse on the left. Another subdivision, and then this is Carlisle. Carlisle is gated, so we weren't able to get in, but it's pretty similar to the other divisions, just larger lots, the same builders, just bigger lots, more luxurious, bigger homes. And I do have a video on Avalon. It's in the top 5 communities video, so I'll leave that link in the description below. I'll also include any related videos to this video in the description, so you'll know like where to go from here if something that we talk about is of interest. If I have another video on it, I'll be sure to include it in the description below. I missed my turn here, so I had to make a U-turn, but we're gonna check out another plaza, which is on County Line Road. It's right next to Avalon, and it's another Publix. There's also a Red Room Salon, a Tobacco Depot, another pizzeria. So there it is again, salon, pizzeria. And then there's a Chinese takeout, a Chiro Freeze, which seems like a chiropractor, like pain management facility. I'm not really sure what it is. I haven't been there or looked into it. And then there's a sushi place called E-Sushi, just Japanese cuisine again. And then on the right there, you can kind of see it is a 7-Eleven. And this street here, if we made a left on this street, this is Anderson Snow. We're going to cover that in a future video, but we're going to continue down County Line here. So we're going to make the right and then a left back onto County Line. And you'll notice that you can see the Suncoast Parkway in the distance. That's the 589, or the Suncoast, which runs all the way up north to Lecanto and Citrus County, and then all the way, obviously, all the way down south to the airport. In the distance there, you can see some new apartments that are being built. It's the Enclave. Um, they are currently pre-leasing, not available just yet, but they have like a nice community pool under construction, clubhouse, and this is Suncoast Landing by Ryan Homes, another home builder in the area, very similar to Isles of Avalon. Price point starting in the low 300s. I believe they only have a couple lots available still for sale. You pretty much pick a lot and pick a home that you want to build on that lot. And I actually just got an email today or yesterday from the property manager or the sales manager talking about interest rate specials for this community for the lots that are available. So you pretty much pick a lot, pick a floor plan, and they'll build the home on it. There might be some homes that are available, but mostly I don't think that happens unless someone backs out of a contract. So they don't build like inventory homes. But same scenario, probably home starting in 1,400 square feet up to 2,300 square feet in here, and prices from 3 to 400,000. Maybe just under 3, maybe like 289, 280, something like that. This next part of the video, we're just going to check out Authentics, which is another community or another apartment complex that was recently built. They have a clubhouse and a pool as well. Not much really to look at here. It's a pretty typical apartment complex, but I have a lot of people that ask about renting before they decide to purchase something here. So they'll come down here and rent before buying. Really just depends on your situation, but those are two options on County Line Road for rentals. And then this is Trillium. I believe a map should pop up here to show you where we're at. But Trillium is another community that's been around since there's the map, probably like 2010 plus, maybe a little bit later, 2013, 14, or 15. And this community, the HOA is $86 a month. They have a clubhouse with a playground and a swimming pool as well. No CDD fees. And it's actually a larger community compared to the other ones that we've looked at. Probably the largest out of all of them. I'd say it goes Trillium, Avalon, and then the newer communities like Verano, Isles of Avalon, Avalon West. Those are the smaller ones. Trillium and Villages of Avalon being the larger ones. You see smaller 3.2s selling in here for about $290 to $320, like 1,500 square foot homes, and then larger homes anywhere from 1,900 to 2,600 square feet in the 350 to 400 range. There's been larger homes that have sat on market recently in here, trying to get over 400, or dated ones in that 380 range. But overall, I would say 350 is probably the median sale price in here. If not a little bit less, it just depends on the month and what home sold that month. But affordable living, and again, smaller lots. But there are some pluses to living in Trillium, like this large field here on the right. So if you lived in Trillium, you have access to this field. And I heard that the community will have like events in these fields to just have stuff to do, like watch movies, when I've been in here showing homes before, I've seen like kids playing over here, throwing around a football and stuff like that. So although you don't have like a private backyard, I mean some of them have decent backyards. Don't get me wrong, but nothing like a half acre. But there are little fields like this throughout the area as well. As you can see, though, most of the communities on County Line Road are more tightly packed, to put it in a nice way. As some people that have purchased from me or called me from my YouTube channel, they say packed like sardines. That is the case for most of these new construction communities. As you could tell, we only looked at maybe 2 communities that had larger lots. Obviously, the ones that are in non-HOA communities, like on Cobblestone and Waterfall, those will vary. Some will have bigger lots, some smaller. But as far as the new construction or the newer construction in these communities, you're going to get a smaller lot. There's other areas we can look at, like north of Weeki Wachee, that could provide larger lots, and even just areas throughout Spring Hill. And we'll obviously look into that and talk about that in future videos in this series. That wraps up this video. If you have any questions about Spring Hill or are considering a move, you can reach out using the contact information below. And don't forget to subscribe for future videos in this series. I'll see you in the next one.